I play a guy called David Percival, who is the station chief in Berlin just before the fall of the Berlin Wall, and he's been there for a few years. And the world that we paint is one in which, or the sort of espionage spy world that we paint is one where Berlin is a very different beast from anywhere else in the world. It's way more like the Wild West in terms of espionage. A lot of the operatives have gone feral, or as their bosses say, they've gone local, they've gone native. And my guy is sort of the epitome of that. He's sort of riddled with drug abuse, alcohol abuse, probably sexually transmitted diseases, and a love of the game that is espionage, and a hate for it at the same time. So he's sort of self-consuming and self-aggrandizing at the same time.
Fantastic. And do you mind telling me just what, well, part of it would be what you just said, but what appealed to you about the story as a whole and the character in particular? If you repeat what you said,
probably the things that appealed to me the most in the script were its sexiness, its unabashed aim to entertain, it's cool as you like. In fact, the director, when he offered me the script, sent me a lookbook, which was a sort of idea of his visual ideas for the film. And they were the sexiest, coolest things you'll have ever seen in your life. And he actually says in it, I want every single scene in this movie to look cool as. And I want every guy to want to be in it. I want every woman to want to be Charlize in it. I want it to ooze with sex and coolness. And then I came along and I sort of, I'm a bit of an antidote to all that, because I'm less sex and I'm more filth. But it was fun to do.
Was there any sort of interesting story behind your casting? Was it just a straightforward thing? Did David come hunting for you? Did Charlize beg you to do it?
I don't think... Charlize sent me an email just saying she thought I was the greatest actor she'd ever... No, I'm not joking. Yeah, she sent me an email, but that was it. And no, I read the script, I responded to it. I think they thought they were going to have to chase me because it wasn't the lead or anything, but I was just so into the part and into the story and into the fun of it. It's a real fun, it's not a po-faced espionage movie with people in anoraks, like looking around corners as the rain comes down with hats and, you know, a lot of talking. There is a lot of talking, but it's fun, the talking, and then the action is just out of this world, and you could tell from the page, and telling who our director is and what he's done before, you knew there was going to be just a brutality, but an ability to execute that brutality and actually know how to film that brutality in a way that you don't see all the time. I see so many movies that are filled with exceptional brutality and violence, which, you know, we seem to be obsessed with, and I like watching it sometimes. But I don't actually see any of it. I don't actually see the art of it. We build these pictures of these, like, you know, artful killers of people, and you never get to really see any of it. And he is a master technician. It's showing you the machine of what is happening from second to second, from beat to beat, from punch to kick to broken jaw to whatever, and it's utterly compelling. And I'm, you know, I say this guiltily. It's a pleasure to watch.
Obviously, Charlie gets to do a bit more kicking and fighting than you do, but from what you just said...
Yeah, I get very little.
But you do get some.
Yeah.
So can you tell me how what you just said actually works practically? Do you sit down and work out each movement beat by beat, or do you train just...
Yeah, you know, he's... our director, he is very... You know, he's an ex-stuntman, he's also an ex... director of pretty much stunts. Being a second unit director, you're in charge of all the stunts, you know. So he knows not only how to choreograph something, but he also knows where to put the cameras to best show the audience what he's choreographed. So yeah, we learn it. There's no point really just turning up on the day and busking it, because then the cameras have got to busk it as well. So if he knows what he's going to shoot, he can prepare where he wants to put the cameras, and then the audience get the best possible opportunity to actually enjoy and see and be connected to what's happening, instead of just seeing a flurry of fists, you know. So yeah, I mean, you got some input. If a movie ain't working for you, you can go, can I try this instead or whatever. But yeah, it's very detailed, very choreographed, very very thought out work.
You said it's fun to watch. Is it fun to do? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows dramatic actor, but everyone likes a bit of rough and tumble, don't they?
Yeah, totally. We all do. Again, I had a ball on this movie because as much as the fighting was very very choreographed, they've let me sort of improvise a lot as well, and I love doing that, especially when you've got a character who's got a burning desire to offend people. It's great. It's an absolute joy to do. So doing the rough and tumble and doing the rough dialogue as well was just lovely.
Now, can you tell me how impressed you were with Charlize as an action star, particularly? Because, like we said earlier, some of those sequences, one after you shoot Spyglass, I mean, that fight they have in the stairs is relentless. Now it's flinching.
Oh, it's unbelievable. That fight is, I think it's the best fight I've ever watched. And you can put it up against things like Crouching Tiger and Touching Cloth and all of that. And for me, it's a very different style. And I think it's a matter of taste, which you prefer. But for me, I prefer what Charlize did and what Dave did. I think, how do I feel about her as an action star? She's sacrificial, and she sacrificed her body. She was like one of those centre backs that you want in the Premiership that when managers say they want people putting their bodies on the line. She's like that, She hurt herself for this movie. She got cracked ribs. I think she still requires some kind of dental surgery. I think I might be making that up, but I think she is. She was a real warrior. And she's fighting big guys, and of course, all right, nobody's looking to swing for each other or really hurt each other. We're trying to do it in a way where nobody gets hurt, but you can't get flung down those stairs the way that she did in that scene that you're talking about without it taking its toll. And by the way, we made this movie for not a lot of money, so you didn't have that kind of big budget schedule where you can afford to go, do you know what, I've pulled something in my back, I need to take a day off. We were working 6 days a week, and we were working crazy hours in minus 10 degrees in Budapest and then laterally in Berlin, and she did not grumble. She was just there slogging away in the trenches. And I've worked with a few the big action people, do you know what I mean? And she's up there with the Hugh Jackmans and all of that.